I mean, I think on offense, we beat the Bills for sure. And then defense, you want to say it's a wash? I'll give us the nod on defense against the Bills. And then Titans, I just don't even want to hear it. They have Tannehill, and they just had a lucky run last year.
Wow. Derrick Henry? No. A.J. Brown? No.
Yeah, but we have Ben. I'm big on my quarterbacks, man. Like, you got to have a quarterback that you have faith in, and I have no faith in Tannehill right now.
Okay.
And, with the Bills, same thing with Josh Allen. And Devin Singletary versus James Conner, I'll give that to James Conner. And like I said, with the defense, I don't want to run through the whole defense like that, but it's close enough right there. I'll give us the nod, though, in terms of Bills defense. I'm giving us the offense, though. We've talked about this before, especially if we want
the quarterback play, sure.
If we want to add projections, I'll give us the nod as well.
Wow.
I will, yeah. Offensive lines, I mean, I think we've talked about this.
Let's go receivers.
We got the tight end.
No. I said receivers. I said wide receivers. Let's talk about receivers.
Receivers, the only thing you could give them the nod for.
Okay.
On offense. That's probably about it. And, and I still think the Steelers receivers will have a better year than their receivers.
Obviously, we're projecting that.
Yeah. So, if you wanted to say right now, I'd give them the receivers. But overall, every other position, and then I'd give our defense the nod. So
every other position.
Yeah. On
offensive line as well.
We've talked about this before. We said wash. Right?
Yeah, we can say it's a wash. Okay.
So I'll give us the nod there. We have more Pro Bowls. We have more talent, just in general. And I think they're going to bounce back because of Ben. That's all. Okay.
So if the Steelers are going to bounce back, we can't assume that the Bills are going to continue to keep going forward.
You can assume that, yeah.
I mean, because but I'm even years, you look at what they've been doing the past.
I'm even talking about right now, though. I'd still give us the nod for everything right now. That's the thing I can't really say against those top 5 teams.
Okay, and why not?
Just based off last year. That's all. Wow. And right now, I could say all those positions, all those factors we have over the Bills.
And now, why you say you give the Steelers defense? I mean, obviously, I'm a Steelers guy, so I'm a roll with Steelers, but why are you giving the Steelers the nod over the Bills defense?
Well, we've talked before. The Steelers defense is really good. I'm just not. I'm actually looking at this chart right here, and I would even say these ESPN guys are agreeing with me based off the ratings that are being given to all these players on defense. So I'll say that. I just think we have more stars. It's simple as that. And like I was mentioning I think
we do have star power here. Without a doubt, we have star power.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, I mean, our oldest guys, we got Joe Hayden and Cam Hayward. They're in their prime, and they're awesome. And then we have all these young dudes ascending that are still young, but they're just hitting their prime.
Yes,
and they're stars already. I mean, TJ Watt was borderline defensive player of the year last year. At least he was in the conversation. And you got Devin Bush, first-round pick, rookie last year. I mean, the Bills have some players, but I just think overall we got the star power.
See, this is, I think, why we differ. I think we do have the star power overall, but I do think they are more complete right now. I think they have less question marks. When we talk about our offense, we know for a fact we're going to have a new left guard with Matt Fowler being there. We're going to have a new right tackle with either Chooks or Banner. We talked about that last episode as well. So we know that's a little bit of uncertainty on the front, along with them coming off of a down year this past season. So that is some question marks right there. Whereas I don't see those same type of question marks when I'm looking at the Bills offensive line, where they're returning pretty much everybody from that line from last year. Now, when we're talking about the star power, we know with Juju, wild card. We know with James Conner, wild cards. When they have been on, they have been some of the best in the league. Right now, we don't, outside of Stefon Diggs, they don't have anyone who's proven to just be crazy star talent, right?
Yeah.
But they have been more consistent when you're talking about a John Brown and a Cole Beasley. In terms of, they probably have a lower floor, but not the same type of ceiling of a Deontay Johnson, of a James Washington, of a Chase Claypool. Those guys have a potential to just go and do something crazy this upcoming season. Now, when we're talking about the backfield, Devin Singletary has been consistent, but he hasn't had a year like a James Conner has had just yet. And obviously, he was a rookie last year, so I think that's going to be interesting. And obviously, they had Zach Moss, young cat. People were really high on. I think you mentioned him doing the. I felt like you did mention him.
He might have been he was in the top 6 or 7 running backs that they had. I mean, I didn't watch him last year, but that's what was reported in some of these draft websites. Yeah. So I think I might have thrown him in there.
Yeah. Okay, just throwing it out there. You did.
But I mean, is he in the best system for running backs now? I don't know. Is he going to flourish like he would at other places? I'm not sure. I'm just not sure.
You are funny, man.
But yeah, whatever. Good pick for them.
But now when we talk about our defense, and obviously the Bills and Steelers defense last year were two of the top units in the league, man. We talked about how it's splitting hairs when it comes to them at all the levels, man. I think, like you said, though, the star power we definitely have. When you talk about a TJ, when you talk about a Bud, when you talk about a Tuitt and a Cam, like without a doubt, those are star guys. But I think from a consistency standpoint, we do have the concerns with Bud. Was that a 1 year thing, or is he going to be able to continue? I think he will continue, but that's still a concern that people have when it comes to Tuitt. We talk about how when Tuitt's healthy, when Tuitt is on fire, Tuitt is like best in the league type.
Yeah.
But then he has had games where he's disappeared and he's missed some time due to injury as well. So those are concerns with him. Whereas in Buffalo, they have Ed Oliver, a top 10 pick, who's been very consistent with, like I said, last year he's played show, and then star Loda Lily, make sure I say that name right. Let's say he's another guy. Doesn't have the same star power over to it, but just a consistent player. Think more of like a Tyson Alualu. He's not going to wow you, but he's going to be very consistent, have a good pedigree type of guy. Talk about the edge guys. Jerry Hughes has had more success than a Bud Dupree career-wise, but he's not on the same level of a TJ Watt. Mario Addison, you could say the same thing in terms of how many of his best sack seasons compared to Bud. He's had more success, more consistent in that regard as well. But like I said, with Bud does have more of the star power. If Bud plays like Bud can play, Bud can be up there with the best of them. We know that with him. But that's still what we're projecting, what we're hoping for. But it hasn't been proven just yet. Whereas when you talk about a Jerry Hughes, you talk about a Mario Addison, it's proven. We've seen that consistently what they can do. Now at the inside linebacker spot, this is where it's different. This is where it gets you a little unique. I would say Tremaine Edmonds and Devin Bush, I put them as a wash. I view them both as two youngsters who are going to be dominating the linebacker spot for years. Like I view them in the exact same frame. Now, Matt Milano, I talked about how he's not really known nationally, but anybody that watches him, his tape was on fire. In fact, he had a big forced fumble when they played us. Granted, that was the one where I think James Washington ends up recovering it, but he always makes plays for them. Now, AJ Klein, think more of a Vince Williams type. Has had success in this league, but he's not going to wow. You don't want him playing 60 snaps in today's NFL with how they're spreading guys out and making them playing coverage and things like that. But what Vince does have over him is how he can rush the passer.
Yeah, and this ESPN rating, too, that they're giving these players. 76 to that dude, what do you have, 46 or something like that.
And they said, man, we can go off the ESPN ratings if you want to. We know you're going to agree with ESPN, except let's see, where they have a certain... Ben, 78.2.
There's some asterisks.
Oh, okay. Just throwing it out there. I figure you would have something else to say about
There's an asterisk there.
I'm just
I don't
saying.
know what that really means.
Yeah.
So
they're saying that's if he's healthy?
I have no clue. I don't know what the asterisk means, but they have Tannehill at a 90 something. So
yeah.
Maybe they got their defensive ratings a little better than the offense.
Like I said, man, you can go off the ESPN numbers you want to, man. Now with the cornerback slot, man, we talked about Tre'Davious White last year. Obviously, he was in that same conversation, Defense Player of the Year type dude. But Steven Nelson, his tape was hot the whole time as well. We have Joe Hayden, who's been consistently balling out, Pro Bowler. They have Josh Norman, who's more of a name right now. Obviously, when he was in Carolina, he was on fire. Went to Washington, took a step back. We don't know if it's scheme or not, but we do know Josh is getting back with the guy who helped him be successful in Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing. That's a little caveat right there. We can take it how we want to take it. Now, when we talk about the safeties, obviously we have Minka. Minka is the trump card. I mean, crazy talented, star power, mega star power. And then we have Terrell Edmonds, who some people believe he's a bust. Some people think that he's still coming into his own. Some people think he's still just a good player right now, but still young. Whereas with them, they have two guys who are very proven in Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. So when we talk about our roster as their roster, I feel I feel like the Bills are more complete. I just think, like you said, we have a ton more star power, but we do have a lot of question marks at certain positions right now, bro. So that's why, for me, I don't necessarily have the issue. Now,